What's going on, baby?
What's up, man? How are you, Doc?
Good, man. Happy New Year to you, champ.
Happy New Year to you and everybody else that's watching, man. God is good, man. We here. We made it. We made
Yes, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it.
Thank God.
All right, sweet. So today, this is a great day. We're going to talk about something I think is so important because we all going in this year wanting to produce something in our lives, but we're being resisted or scared to move from what I want to call the unqualified critic. And so let me just give you an example of what I'm saying. Sometimes we won't even post a certain thing, or we won't say what we're doing or what we're working on, or start something that we desire, because somebody outside of us, we assume that they're going to say, "Oh, that ain't good." They're going to hate. They're going to dislike what we're doing or criticize whatever it is that we're doing. And so that has caused many of us to stop in the past, but we come here to give you some insight, to motivate you to say, no more. No.
Right.
You got to go ahead and make it happen. So tell me what you think about that, bro.
I think that's good, man. Like the old folks say, don't cast stones at a glass house, and like the tea kettle calling the pot black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you judge somebody or be a critic to what somebody else doing? And we know we all got things we could work on and put that same energy into what we doing, and then watch our whatever it is that we need to perfect, or whatever it is that's in our spirit that God been dropping in our spirit that we need to work on. You know, we work on that because we all got areas and things we need to perfect, and we can work on to be better. And if we pay more attention to our own world and the things we could do to be better people for the people around us, then you won't have to be a critic towards what somebody else is doing. So I think that's a real good topic, man. I'm geeked up today, man. I feel good, man.
Yeah, so it's two sides of this coin. Let's first talk to the person that wants to move forward, and then we'll talk to the person that's potentially being the hater and don't even know it.
Right.
And where that may be coming from. But so to the person, I know all of us have a gift, or all of us have a skill, that whether it's, baking cakes, or whether it's starting a podcast, or whether it's starting a business, you want to move forward. Mm-hmm. But one resistance is, well, what would everybody say? Because right now, if I start, this is imperfect, this is wrong, or I need to do this first. The biggest trick I think the enemy gets us in, or our mind plays on, is that everything has to be right before we start something. That is impossible. It is,
man.
Impossible.
That is not to cut you off, but
go ahead.
That's the devil's number one. That's the devil's number one technique he used to keep us stuck and not moving forward in the things that we want to do, man. Trying to make everything perfect, man. I had that problem, man. It took me 13 years of working on Davidson, the shop over there, before I opened it, because of that one thing right there, man.
Yeah.
Waiting on everything to just be perfect and pull the trigger, right. and that stuff, I had you go broke. It'll have you discouraged, and it'll have you not believing in yourself to even launch what it is God put on your heart to do, man. And right. And that's deep, man. That's real good, man. Because
you're right. I mean, it's because what happens is you compare yourself to maybe somebody else who's out there, and we automatically assume, unless that we're just like them, we shouldn't start. But if I want to go a little deep, because I struggled with this in the past too, and the God told me what it was. We have to check ourselves, because everything roots back to who we are. If you've in the past been a critic, or you criticize somebody for what they're doing, the problem is we personally set a bar for what's acceptable to be okay to do. So if I criticize somebody else's relationship because they're going through something, or they put themselves out there, or they put a bad picture out, and I say that's a mess, so whatever it is I put on that, I set a bar or a standard. Before I could do anything, I have to make it look better than the thing I criticize. And so we put these barriers on our own selves. And so for us to go and be imperfect means, well, somebody's going to criticize me. I would criticize me. I've already set that bar. So the first thing to do is to stop critiquing everybody else in a negative format.
Right. Yeah, that's so good, man. Because that's one of the New Year's resolutions I had, man. It's like, man, anything I got to say to a person, or any issues I got to with somebody, I'm gonna go to them with it. Don't talk to nobody about nothing. You know, that's something I touched on a lot last year about relationships, man. And that's the thing, man. You know, if you ain't got nothing positive to say, don't say nothing at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's how you keep a positive energy. You know, I'm gonna find more things to compliment people on versus, you know, anything that ain't good, man. Because
Yeah.
I need positivity in my world, and what you put out is what you get back. And
Right.
my thing is, if I see something like one of my cousins, man, what we touching on right now, I was just getting off the phone with one of my cousins. We was kicking it on this same type of stuff, just, you know, really getting in your bag and focusing on the things you need to do to move forward, and just stop procrastinating, and just work on where you know you need to work on some things at. And if you do that, if a person come to you and they ask you for some creative criticism, then you give it to them. You know what I'm saying? But don't walk around in this world, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people walk around in this world and they procrastinate in their life on things that they should be doing because they looking at something somebody else should be doing or what they ain't doing, to use that as an excuse to talk about something to make them feel good about the procrastination that's going on in their life.
Yeah.
So, you know, the old saying, misery love company, or, you know, I'm doing enough. Them folks over there, they ain't doing this, that, and the third. Man, listen, time out.
Yeah.
Time to hook up with positive people and get on a train, get on, like Mayweather say, the money team. You know what I'm saying? People that's doing things like, you know, and it ain't so much getting on a team with people about money. It's just about surrounding yourself around people that's moving in the same direction as you.
That's right.
Positivity, good vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Eagerness to work and get it done. No procrastination. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? And that's all, man. That's all I'm on, bro.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
know, one of my sayings going into this year, to let everybody know, to let us all know, bro, is that we can only be what we're aware of. Let's think about that. You can only be what you are aware of. So if we, and then this is not condescending on anybody, if we take the practice of going through social media, which we do all the time, and we're looking for people to talk about, you know what I'm saying? If we are consciously, you know, putting negative emojis or laughing at people or gossiping at people and what they are doing, whatever it is, your awareness is about the critique, the criticism. And so when it's time for you to walk in your skill set, there's always going to be a hesitation. So it always comes back to us. Like the moment that you just said it, once we start to put out love and we start to like people, or we start to encourage people, or when we see that they're messing up, when we say, man, keep at it, man, keep going, or keep going, sis, what happens is you give yourself the freedom to be imperfect. You follow what I'm saying? There's so many times as we wanted to get over ourselves, even with this broadcast or this podcast. It's like, bro, we got to go imperfect action. There was, you know, it says like, let's just go, let's just do it and watch God catch us, or watch our creative ability begin to perfect the process as we go. There's no profession that ever started out the way they know what they're doing. Even doctors, they call it a practice. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. It's a practice. You have to go and practice the thing that you are doing. Practice law. Practice, you know, professional athletes, we all practice. So our practice is sometimes it needs to be exposed so to give us some accountability to just try harder. But if we leave ourselves in a safe environment, what happens is we get isolated, and that leads to a level of depression because we can't release our gift because we're scared of one factor of somebody else critiquing it, and we like, we ain't good enough. That ain't it.
That's so good, man. And it's funny, man, because one thing God been putting in my spirit, you know, is, you know, while you setting business up, whatever your next move is, while you setting it up, you know, we say write the, you know, in the Bible say write the plan and make it plain. And we say in the streets, you know, make a plan or plan to fail. And what God been showing me is when the money not there or the things ain't there, when you can't find the people to do the work, you know what I'm saying, to get whatever it is you trying to do done, look around and see what it is you could do to start working the plan to make it speed forward, and, you know, in what you can do right now. You know what I'm saying? If you need a certain space and you trying to get that space, you know what I'm saying, ready for a business or something, and you got the space, clean it up, prep it, do what you can until you can get the other steps handled while you working on finding your people to bring the thing to life, finding your painters, finding your builders, finding your software, finding your employees. Do what you can do So you don't feel like you at a standstill and it's stagnant, because an idle mind is a devil workshop, and that's where that criticism come in that you're talking about. You know, when you got time on your hand and your thing ain't going the way it is, you got time to think about foolishness and different things to make you try to get you off. You feeling like you procrastinating because you looking at, oh man, they lazy over there, man. They need to do this, they need to do that. Don't be in that. Just stay in your zone and focus on what you can focus on and get what you can get. If it's just sweeping up, you know what I'm saying? Get that done. You know?
It's all about incremental or progressional success. Every small win, if we have what they call no zero days, where we know what we want to do and we just show up to do something which may not seem like much at all, what happens is you start to build on those bricks and you'll start to have more confidence in yourself. The reason that we don't have confidence is because we haven't done the work that we already know how to do. Like Cal is saying, there's something that I know how to do today that'll get me closer to the thing that I'm trying to create. But if I'm hesitant to go because somebody else might criticize it, I never lay the bricks for this building that I'm building. But that one brick, even though it's nowhere near the finished product, that one brick will make you step back and have confidence because you execute it. And if you do that often enough and long enough, you'll start to see the form of that thing that's inside of you start to take shape. And then you will become what it is that is placed in you. All of us are creative. All of us have creative abilities. There is not one person who is listening to me don't have the creative ability. Why? Because you are whatever you think, and you're creating that reality as you. It is automatic. It's automatic to be what you think about, and we create our world based upon what we say or what we think. And so, just go. You just gotta go, man.
It's like that old saying the folks say. You know, I love them sayings, man. Why put off tomorrow what you could do today?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, planting a saying in your mind and just repeating it to yourself all day, man, it'll take you so far. If you plant yourself on some of them sayings, or you plant yourself on a motto and you stand on that motto will push you. Never put off tomorrow what you could do today. Because what we seeing in today's time, man, we living in a time where if you don't take a hold of some of these things that you've been paying people and watching people to do for you, and just trying to do it yourself. Like, man, I've been watching people measure and cut and do things for me so long, but we living in a time and a place where, you know what I'm saying, it's the builder's market. You know what I'm saying? It's the worker's market. The worker and the builder, they got their way today. Just like it's a seller's market with the houses today, where if you got a nice house, you got 100 viewings in one day for somebody, and the house is sold and they paying 40 to 60,000 over the market. It's just like that with the workers today, man. Builders and contractors, they having their way right now, and they give you know what the kiss, man. They take your money and be hating on you, take your money and run off and go get a deposit on another job. So we living in a time right now, man, where you really got to take everything you can by the horns and ride that bull. You got to try some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Try to cut that drywall. Try to hang it yourself. Get on YouTube and look at that mud. Not because you trying to be cheap, but right now, even if you got money, people don't want to work. And if they do want to work, you know what I'm saying, they taking on so many jobs and no people going to wait for them because it's not enough workers or people that want to do work. And it's a lot of money floating to where everybody want to get something done.
Right.
So it's like, man, you got, man, I've been doing stuff, man, myself, and waiting on guys, man, and just trying to get stuff done that I knew I could do, but never tried to do it. And I've been shocking myself, just like, boom. I'm like, wow, bro, I don't believe that turned out like that. But I've been around it so much, man. And just like I was just telling my uncle, man, I said, listen, every Wednesday, I'm going to start working with you on body work. I'm going to start working with you on body work, because these painters, man, in this car game, man, I got a couple cars I want to finish. And man, they the worst. So before I give somebody my money that's going to be hating on me or playing me or have doing a job, I'd rather take time and do it slow and learn it and get it done right myself. Because guess what? I'm gonna be able to take this with me in the future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, it's almost like when you are able to execute yourself, the person that would be able to help you decides now I can't pull nothing on this guy because they can
Right.
execute on their own.
You educating yourself.
Exactly. And now they're not in the position that they could use you or prostitute your ignorance. But it all boils down to just being able to go without having full knowledge of what it is that you're doing. The only way that we learn is through experience. It's one thing to get knowledge that accelerates the process, but our experiential knowledge is understanding. And so in order for you to understand how to buy that house you're trying to buy or understand how to start that business is to just go. And I promise you, the way that it works, the way God has made it, is that if you stay aware of it, that means meditate on it all the time, day and night, you will be attracted to things that will help you solve that puzzle. But the release that I think as we wrap up that we want everybody to do is don't be stuck because of an unqualified critic. You know what I'm saying? There's several things that gives us resistance to moving the thing that we want to do, be, or have. But one thing that we're talking about today is not being subject to someone else's opinion, because you better believe that they are doing it for this one reason. They are insecure within themselves and they need somebody else to pull down to make them feel better about themselves. Because if I'm not moving, it's easier to take that energy and tell somebody else that they're not good enough or let them know that they're not good enough so I can feel better about myself. It's all about an insecurity. And the way that you get over insecurity is confidence. And the way that you get confidence is execution. And that means you have to be imperfect and just go. That's my thing.
I'm going to go a little deeper than that, man. You know, with the critics, man. Critics, you know what I'm saying, allow doubt. Doubt is of the devil. And elevating yourself and trying to do things and getting things done, even if it ain't perfect, you keep practicing that, you're going to get better. That elevates your faith. And a lot of times when we don't see things moving forward, we have doubt in the ability of what we feel like God is doing or blessing us with. It takes your faith to another level. When you watch yourself, God give you a thought. Your thought turn, your vision and your thought turn into a doing, a working. And when that working is done and you start working that plan or that dream or that thought that God gave you, it take your faith to another level of knowing, wow, 100%. Man, I see what the pastor was talking about. I see what Dave and Aunt Cal was talking about on the podcast, man. God been with me all this time, and he just been waiting on me to take a step. You know what I'm saying? Because God gonna meet you right wherever you at. God ain't no favor of man. He love us all the same. So we just got to know he with us, and we got to take them steps, man. And when we do, we start to see how much he always been there, and we just been like doubting ourselves. So
the creative, I'm gonna wrap up with this and I'm gonna let you close. To follow what you just said, our creative power is always present. God has given us the ability to produce, again, whatever that we are aware of and whatever we practice. And that's indisputable. Anything that you've done in life, even if it's being lazy, it's about awareness and the practice of that. You know what I'm saying? And so because we are creative, we are like God, we just have to get our minds off of the wrong things that we don't want to continue and refocus this year on the things that we want. So it's about what we're aware of, and what we do daily is a thing that will undoubtedly produce in our life. And so go ahead, bro, wrap us up.
Man, you pretty much wrapped it up, man. That's a wrap, man. Listen, man, so to wrap it up in a nutshell, keep positive energy. Anybody bring you something negative, anybody doubting you, man. My sister-in-law once told me this, man. She said, God said to tell you to stop sharing your visions that he gave you with people. And I'm looking at her crazy. She said, God said you're a visionary. He made you a visionary. You could see junk. You could look at junk and you could see what it can become. You can see vision in things. You can just look at stuff and show you the vision. And the next person look at it like it was junk. Quick little testimony, like the warehouse over there. I took my boy Ivan to see that, man, back in the day when we was business partners. And I said, bro, I need you to come look at this warehouse. It was on a demolition list. And I took him to go see it. He like, man, you want to buy this junk? I'm like, man, look at this mug. This mug, man, could be something great. And he said, No, man, I'm straight on, man. Just need too much work. It was on demolition list. I'm gonna wrap up with it in a few seconds. Fast forward. My guy called me. His daughter was 6 years old. I'm giving the testimony. It's gonna elevate somebody's faith. My man was 6 year old. He had a Popeye's chicken in his name. He said, my daughter's 6 years old. I'm divorced. I don't have nobody I can trust that ain't gonna take a loan out on this Popeye's chicken. I need to put it in your name for a year, and I'm gonna take it out. I said, no problem. What you need to do? He said, come down here and sign the deed. I signed the deed. I forget it was in my name. He called me, you know what I'm saying, and called me a year later. He said, Cal, I need you to get that Popeye's chicken out your name and deed it back over to me. I said, okay. When you want me to come? He said, tomorrow. I know it's short of a notice. It's coming tomorrow. I said, will do. So I get down there. I sign the deed. He throw me a stack of papers on the table. I said, what's this? He said, that's a bunch of houses, man. Pick whatever you want, man. I appreciate you. I go through the page, just about 70, 80 houses on the list. I'm like, it was like when the economy started crashing, though, back in the day, when the housing market went to, a slump.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, man, I really don't want no houses right now. They really ain't valuing it. I said, you don't want to do nothing on nothing commercial for me? He said, what you got your eyes on? I said, that old warehouse over there that I went to look at back in the day. He said, you like that? He looked at me crazy too, kind of like my partner, Ivan. I said, yeah. So he told his secretary, he said, draw the deed up to that for Calvin, and gave me the warehouse.
Wow.
And you see what it looked like today.
Right.
So
right.
that's just, you know what I'm saying, something to elevate somebody's faith. I don't know why God put that in my spirit, but it's somebody out there that need to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So your trash, somebody else's trash may be your treasure.
Right.
So you got to know that when you, back to what my sister-in-law was saying, when you tell people your visions, if you're a visionary, it's going to do one or two things. It's going to either allow them to steal your vision and run off with it, or allow them to put doubt in you to make you feel like, well, maybe that is too messed up, or maybe I shouldn't be, or maybe they're right. It's going to mess up your faith. So just tap into what you're doing and keep your mouth shut and move forward.
Right.
God bless. And it's a wrap.
That's it. Willing to respond, and as people should, man. Love you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one, man.
We love y'all. God bless. All right.